Good. Hello, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed your sandwiches and had a coffee and are ready to learn about AI and automation. So my name is Richard Holland, and with my colleague Simon Kelly here, we're going to talk to you today about whether AI and automation is the missing piece in your contact center. So as I said, my name is Richard Holland. I'm the head of channel and strategic alliances here at Odigo. And with me I've got Simon Kelly. Simon is the Senior Director of Solution Engineering within Service Cloud at Salesforce. So please don't go and buy anything based on anything I say today. Thank you. So firstly, let's start out with AI and the automation in the market today. Let's set the scene. So the AI for CX market is maturing. Businesses who have invested already report that they've had great success. 62% found it quite successful, and a further 27% found it to be very successful. And that's testimony to the maturity of the market, because a few years ago, this is quite new. There's some mixed report on the ROI around AI, but the market is definitely maturing. Most businesses who have already invested believe that they will continue to invest over the next few years. So those that have already bought some more have an appetite and are looking to buy more. Those who have not invested in AI or automation yet largely acknowledge that it is critical to the future success of their business. Some of the most important use cases for AI and automation within the contact center include providing customer insights, understanding your customers better, their intents, their drivers, assisting agents, making them more productive, and do better, smarter routing so that you can take contextual information from various different data sources and making sure that you're routing the right customer to the right agent at the right time with the right skills. There are some barriers, however, in people's minds as to whether they should invest in AI and automation. A couple of them you'll see here. The main one, it's fair to say, is a fear that AI and automation will replace their people, right? And we see this particularly within certain IT teams and within contact centers. There's a fear that this will actually replace their staff. So how do we derive many of those benefits that I mentioned earlier while still retaining your people? Well, the first thing is let humans do human things. So automate simple tasks using AI and automation that agents don't really need to be wasting their time with. Supercharge agent productivity by giving them access to real-time knowledge bases, automating tasks that they don't need to do, and allow them to focus on the customer. And lastly, giving the customer a personalized experience as they enter the contact center or across many channels, but also when talking to the agent. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about conversational AI, that is AI through the voice channel, and then Simon, my colleague, is going to talk to you a little bit about AI and automation through digital channels and supporting the agent when they're interacting with a customer. So when we talk about conversational AI specifically, customers, some of the use cases that we see in the contact center system are, firstly, understanding intent. So why has a customer called you in the first place? What is their reason for calling you? Many customers are incentivized to look for other channels, digital channels, etc., rather than the voice channel, largely because they've had such a frustrating experience in the past fighting their way through static IVRs with DTMF. That's press 1 for this, press 2 for that. I think most customers just try to fight their way through that rather than try to figure out which is necessarily the right intent for them, which can often result in them being routed to actually the wrong agent and then having a frustrating experience being bounced between different departments. Some of the other use cases we see are automating certain things like scheduling appointments, scheduling deliveries, etc., automating that process. At the extreme end, even completely automating transactions in some cases through the IVR. Also things like filing insurance claims, etc. You can use AI, conversational AI, to adjust in real time data that sits within, for example, your CRM platform. So like inside Salesforce. So imagine a really simple use case. I'm a retailer, I've got a delivery out with one of my customers. The customer can call up, understand when is my delivery due, and maybe change that delivery date if they're not available, changing that data both inside the contact center platform but also inside the CRM platform. This has a range of benefits for both the customer, the agent, and the contact center itself. So for the customer, they have less time fighting their way through those IVRs, a less frustrating experience, a more personalized experience. Agents, in turn, can therefore be more specialized. Rather than being essentially a triager of queries, they can focus on driving value for the customer and for their business. And lastly, the business can transform their contact center from a cost center to a value center, driving upsell and customer retention. So here's a nice example of how AI can support the retention of your agents, in fact, right? So many contact centers have problems with agent attrition. This is often in part driven by not having the right tools within their contact center. So this is a large government body that works with Odigo. There's a health component to the service they provide for their citizens, and consequently, it's a very complex role. Sometimes there's very high call volumes, and occasionally these are quite high stakes calls and quite emotional calls when someone's health's on the line. So as a result, it takes about 4 months to onboard agents into this contact center. On an average, agents stay for less than a year. So you can think about the cost implications that has for this government body, but also how an absence of the right technology at first was actually costing them their agents. So using natural language, what do? Firstly, they qualify the complexity, the likely complexity of an interaction when it comes into the contact center before it is routed to an agent. So they use a grading system, and they can understand, say, 1 to 4, the likely complexity. Complex calls are then routed to an agent that's more experienced, that has done the training, and that has the right skills to be able to manage that type of query. Whereas more simple calls can be routed to an agent that's earlier in their training cycle. This has 2 kind of key values for the contact center. Firstly, newer agents are able to be productive earlier in their training cycle. You can get them on the phones earlier and answering queries. Secondly, because they have this kind of soft landing into their role, they have less of a frustrating experience when they're new into the contact center, and they're more likely to stick around. So this actually helps with agent attrition. So if you're fearing that AI could be a risk to your people, I could maybe argue that the absence of using AI and automation is in fact a risk to your people. So Odigo and our perspective around conversational AI, because Odigo is not just a conversational AI provider, we're actually a CCaaS partner that provides a full CX platform. We believe that the best way to deliver conversational AI is as part of what I call a holistic orchestration engine. So don't think about IVRs, but think about orchestration, rather than as a point solution integrated into an existing IVR. We offer a scalable enterprise CCaaS solution integrated with Salesforce, as well as other leading third-party NLUs like IBM Watson and Google CC AI. We also believe that implementing AI is quite complex. You need language skills, you need coding skills, and these people need to have a keen understanding of the industries that you're trying to deliver this solution into. It's not easy. So making sure that you've got a partner that has the right skills is important. Odigo has been delivering NLP services to our clients for over 15 years, much longer than many of the other vendors out there on the market, as this is a new trend. And this gives us a lot of experience. We also have, dating back to our previous time, we spent 8 years as part of Capgemini Group. We have a real SI mindset, as well as partnership with the likes of Capgemini and other leading GSIs to deliver these solutions as part of a broader transformation project for your clients or for yourself. And lastly, many customers choose to work with Odigo because we've got a very large scalable platform able to deliver very high traffic. So we deliver 30 million calls on natural language to our platform every year. That's a key point as well. So before I pass you on to Simon, I'm going to leave you with a couple of closing thoughts, some points that you might want to consider when procuring conversational AI. The first one is, be aware of buying conversational AI based on purely technical KPIs, such as transcription accuracy. Ensure that you're working with an experienced partner that can actually deliver the business outcomes you're looking for, like personalization and automation, but as part of a coherent customer journey, rather than just trying to deliver certain KPIs. Lastly, consider integration. Integration is very important to avoid silo data. does your CCaaS platform integrate thoroughly with your conversational AI solution? And does that in turn integrate with your CRM platform to make sure that you have a single source of the truth for your customer? Neglecting these considerations can compromise the ROI that you can get from these kind of projects and lead to situations like we find on the next slide. So, we have two customers here, customer 1 and customer 2. Both are male, white, born in 1948, raised in the UK, married twice, lived in a castle, wealthy and famous. A very accurate but poorly implemented AI solution without integrations into your customer data might reasonably extract these kind of data points from the customer and conclude that they are the same person and offer the same service and the same experience to that customer when they call into the contact center. However, in reality, they are indeed quite different. One is our king, and the other is an aged rocker known for biting the heads off bats. You must make sure that you have a true integration between your different platforms and that you've got an experienced partner that can help you deliver this solution to your clients. So with that, I'll pass you on to Simon from Salesforce.
Thanks very much, Richard. Excellent analogy there with the AI. Before I get into it, I just want to talk a little bit about what Richard said earlier around let humans do human things, and we'll talk about AI within the contact center and automation within the contact center and how that's going to drive efficiencies, etc. We will get into that. But for me, let humans do human things is your contact center agents, your advisors. What are they great at? They're great at that customer-facing conversation. They're great at showing empathy to your customers when they potentially have issues. And we really want to empower and enable those agents, those advisors, to drive that customer experience and to own that customer experience and not worry about the drudgery, if you like, of being an agent in the contact center, having to classify the cases and the tickets that come in, have to chase up when things are being done by other people to make sure that they're being resolved. We really want to try and use AI and automation to drive that behavior and enable them to not worry about that, but just focus on the customer as they're going through that interaction. So a perfect world, behind every great experience is a seamless process. And you think about the complexity of those customer inquiries that are coming through. They're no longer really one and done simple types of inquiries. A lot of that is dealt with through self-service. It's more complex. It's involving multiple teams within your organization, more likely involving more applications or multiple applications which may or may not be joined together. But if it is a seamless process through whichever channel, whichever teams and whichever technology you're using, it provides that great customer experience as well as being able to drive things like efficiencies and resolution rates, etc. And this is kind of the utopia of a contact center environment where everything is joined up, everybody is joined up for that one common goal of the customer experience. However, most organizations are not like that. Most organizations have real challenges around trying to join up and create that customer experience and trying to automate those processes. Typically, customer data, process data, it's in various different repositories. It's all over the place. It's difficult to find, difficult to get hold of. Teams are siloed. We need these teams to be able to work together for the greater good, to enable our customers, empower our customers, and resolve those issues that they have. More often than not, the technologies that are being used, both in the contact center and in the supporting departments, they're point solutions. They're very good at what they do, but they don't talk to anything. They're not integrated. They do their job, and that's it. And that doesn't provide you then with the insights that you need to be able to drive continuous improvement on working out where the automation can come in, where it can help. And finally, for an agent, and I've been a lot of contact centers during my career, the amount of manual tasks that agents need to do, whether they're needing to, again, classify the cases, classify the tickets that come in, cutting and pasting data from one system to another and trying to update that information. We really want to try and take that away. And it's very prevalent now. Now is the time where a lot of organizations are looking for automation. They're looking at ways we can drive efficiencies and where we can drive that level of automation. So today, case numbers are increasing in terms of digital channels and in some cases the voice channel, but it's the complexity of those interactions that are causing the challenge and the need for them to involve multiple different people. So what are we looking at now? We're looking at optimized service for our customers. We're looking at creating faster resolutions and being able to optimize and automate a lot of these processes coming forward. Moving from a fragmental transactional service to empowering the agents, give the agents what they need to be able to provide that level of customer experience for your customers and provide it in an area of consistency and expertise. And Richard touched on the cost center environment of the contact center. More and more we're trying to use this as a growth engine, how we can provide personalized cross-sell, upsell, or just best advice, next best action type of capabilities within the contact center. And it seems that a lot of business leaders, a lot of IT teams are now looking at this as an imperative. Extremely important to look at these processes and try to automate them. As you can see here, the numbers are quite high, taken from a survey that we did with business leaders and IT leaders. It is on the top of everybody's mind. How do we boost productivity? How do we create connected customer experiences across our organization and hide some of the complexities that are happening behind the scenes and driving the improvement of that operational efficiency? But there are challenges to doing that. If we are in an environment that is disjointed, if we are in an environment where applications and teams aren't really collaborating, aren't really talking to each other, it creates complication. Typically, it requires a whole load of coding to be able to join these applications together and get them working seamlessly to provide that customer experience. And the systems integration and the cross-functional teams, which do a great job in their own rights, but maybe not joined up, again, in the fight for the greater good of that customer experience. And these are the challenges that a lot of the businesses and IT departments are facing now when they're trying to create these seamless processes. So a very, very quick example here. I used the case of in high tech of an RMA, which is Return Merchandise Authorization here. So it's a fairly complex process, and it involves a number of different people, a number of different teams, and a number of different technologies. And if we just take this from the very beginning, the initiation of this inquiry, a customer is called up, or maybe they're in engaged in a digital channel, chat, messaging, something of that nature. And that inquiry is initiated. The agent receives that. They have no context of who this customer is. They have no context of what they are calling about. And it takes them an awful lot of time now to go and look up in these various systems to find the data, find the information that they're looking for. And in this disconnected world, the agent then needs to go and check the warranty and the entitlements, again, which may be in a completely different system. What product, what service is this customer calling about? Are they still in warranty? And if they're not, they may have to hand this inquiry off, hand this interaction off to an approval team who may be using, again, a totally different technology. Straight away then, the experience is gone. The interaction has gone into a black hole. The agent no longer has any idea what is going on while it's in that approval process. Finally, the exception has been approved, and we decided that, yes, we need to fix this, and we want to create a work order. Again, typically in a disjointed world, in a disjointed experience, it takes time. It's a manual creation. A lot of times it's a cut and paste from your contact center application into your work order and into your scheduling application to schedule actually a technician or a repairer to actually fix this particular issue. Finally, our field technician, whether they're out on site or maybe they're in a repair center repairing it, have no context of what's gone on before. They can't see who that customer is. They can't see what interactions have gone on. They can't see the details of, say, warranties, products, loyalty of that particular customer. They just repair. And all the way through this disjointed process, nobody is being updated. No systems are being synchronized or updated to try and drive the automation of these products. And of course, the customer is kept in the dark as these things are happening. Let's look at where that integration, where that automation has happened and the AI has been applied. Straight away, when the agent picks up that inquiry, this RMA request coming through from the customer, using tools like Odigo to understand that conversational AI, understand the intent of what that customer wants and needs, automatically presented to the agent. All of that customer information, all of that detail of that customer presented to the agent. In fact, they don't even need to check the warranty and entitlements because an automated process has already done that. It's already decided whether this particular issue is in warranty or out of warranty. If it's out of warranty, it's already decided that an approval is required. We're taking the onus away from the agent to make that decision. The process and the automation is deciding that based on the rules and based on the intelligence that we have. And all the way along, the status is being updated for the agent and back out to the customer, providing those proactive notifications. The repair is approved, it needs to be scheduled. Again, automation is driving that. We're automatically creating, as soon as that exception has been approved, let's create the work order, let's schedule the technician or the repair person to actually repair this particular item, this particular device, and execute that on-site repair. But all of the time, the same case, the same issue is being updated, it's being resolved and being managed by the agent and by everybody involved in this process. And of course, your customer is being updated throughout this process and understands exactly what is going on right the way through to the conclusion of this particular challenge. So two very different journeys in terms of a disjointed, non-automated approach, very manual, taking lots of time, creating issues all the way, to a pure service excellence where automation is being used to drive this case through to resolution as quickly as we possibly can. So how do we get there? How do we get from our disjointed environment through to a fully automated, fully intelligent contact center and customer experience situation? I'm not going to pretend it's an easy thing for us to do. First of all, everybody who runs a contact center needs to look at the processes, look at who is involved in resolving certain issues or interactions that come through from your customer. Understand where the bottlenecks are. Where is the manual entry? Where does the interactions potentially fall into that black hole and never seen again? Are we syncing? Are we updating everything and everybody along the way? So we need tools like Odigo and Salesforce that are provided the tools to be able to create that automation, to be able to create that orchestration across the different applications, across the different teams, so that everybody is joined up. Everybody understands where a particular issue is, where a particular customer interaction is there, and nothing is falling through the gaps. Provide an environment to accelerate the mission critical service, provide a collaboration environment where the employees of the various teams are able to collaborate and swarm around particular issues, so everybody knows the context, everybody knows what is going on wherever this interaction is in its life cycle. I was at a customer recently, and they work on this collaboration, but their collaboration is all done by email. It's totally out of context, it's totally outside of the contact center application, and they're using a completely different channel to fire emails around to each other to try and understand where things are and what's happening. If we are able to automate and synchronize so that all the different departments and all the different applications are kept up to date all the way along the way, and they're able to swarm in a collaborative contextual area, everybody knows what is happening with that particular environment. So once we've done that analysis, once we've defined the processes that we have there, and we've created these workflows across the different departments, across the different teams to manage these complex interactions, we then need to look at those processes and think, how many of these processes can I actually expose out to my customer? How can I provide a level of self-service so they don't have to call in or have a chat with me or send me in an email? Can we take those and actually empower customers to be able to do this themselves, whether it's through a portal on a website, whether it's through your mobile application, more commonly now through messaging channels such as WhatsApp and Facebook, etc., or embed it within say a bot, for example, embed it within a chat bot. And the point here is that you define this process once and then be able to share it anywhere, whether it's for your agents in the contact center, whether it's your back office services, or whether we want to expose this directly out to customers to drive that level of self-service. So we've automated those processes internally. We've then exposed that out to the customers to drive that self-service and that immediate gratification of our customers through all of these different channels. And thirdly, we need to infuse artificial intelligence to help drive that customer experience. Richard talked about the conversational AI and being able to understand the intent of the customer of that interaction, particularly through the voice channel. But when that comes through into an agent, let's provide them with the tools and the capabilities using artificial intelligence to help them resolve that inquiry and to help them drive that customer experience. So for example, we talked about let humans do human things. Triaging the case. In a lot of organizations certainly that I've been in, I find the agents are there putting in wrap-up codes or case classifications or categorizations. Why don't we let intelligence do that? Intelligence can understand what this interaction is about. They know what the topics are, what the products are, etc. So let's have that pre-populated. Let's use AI to do that and not burden our agents with it. Let's present knowledge to those agents as that interaction is happening. As, for example, the voice call is happening, that transcription is coming through, we're able to understand more about what the customer is asking about and dynamically present knowledge articles to that agent to help them resolve this customer interaction as quickly as possible. Digital channels, let's use what our other agents have used in terms of replying to those channels, replying to those chat conversations, and present that to the agents that are dealing with the new chat conversations and maybe using those and reusing that rather than having to type in the same thing that's already been answered multiple times. And finally, looking at things like next best action, understanding who that customer is, what the intent, where they are in their relationship with you, and deciding, okay, what are the next best things that we should be offering this customer? It may be a cross-sell or upsell, or it may be just some advice and guidance as to things that are coming up that the customer can take advantage of. But we really want to use AI to infuse this and not need the agent or the advisor to go hunting for that information. The benefits of AI and automation being infused throughout the customer experience and throughout your contact center, I think is pretty clear. We're seeing massive increases in customer satisfaction. Their issues are being resolved faster, but also the decrease in service and support costs here are quite amazing when we're able to automate those processes and streamline those processes across all the different touch points and all the different areas of your business. So we've probably done this, overdone this, but I'm going to leave you with this one statement because I think it's important. Let humans do human things. Let technology and let machine learning and let automation deal with all the processes and deal with everything that's going on in the back office to get this resolved. And let your agents focus on the customer. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Richard.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Please do come and speak with us. The Odigo booth is just over there. Both Odigo and Salesforce are over there to speak with you about whatever it is that you're interested in, be it AI, CRM, or CCaaS. So please come talk to us. Tell us about the challenges you're facing at the moment. We'd be happy to help you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.